In this video, I will explain how to trade gold using support and resistance. Stick around until the end to receive a free expert advisor based on breakouts. So, to start this video off, I thought it might be helpful to do a quick refresher on what is support and resistance. From a purely technical analysis point of view, support is often used to denote a level where price has routinely bounced off of, so bounced up and gone up. Whereas resistance is routinely used to describe almost a roof or a ceiling where price goes up to and then it rejects downwards off of. From a more holistic point of view, I find it's helpful to go beyond just drawing lines on a chart and think, what do the lines ultimately represent? In the case of support and resistance, we're looking at key levels where there's potentially either interest from buyers or sellers to engage in a transaction, or in the context of an order book, there is lots of resting orders at that level. For instance, we could say this is a resistance level because there's a bunch of limit orders to sell at that level. Therefore, if price reaches that level, a bunch of orders will be triggered, flooding the market with additional securities, be it gold, a future, a stock, etc., and price will rapidly fall because all of a sudden the supply exceeds demand, causing price to decrease. Won't go into too much detail here, but this is the general fundamentals behind support and resistance, supply and demand, and how that interacts with the order book. So, what is a breakout of support and resistance? Ultimately, price can do two things. It can either keep going or it can turn around. Intuitively, any sort of asset can go up or down, right? So a breakout typically refers to price reaching a key level, could be an area of interest or an area with lots of resting orders, and then continuing to go up. This is what we will essentially discuss today. Anecdotally, or also just to share, quite often in the context of support and resistance trading, people also look for rejections off of support and resistance levels. This would be an example here. However, in the context of today's video, where we will be discussing scalping, I wanted to point out that you can make money using a scalping system in both of these scenarios. And this is why I believe this is one of the highest edge systems in trading gold. Simply because if you use a scalping system, even in the event of a rejection, quite often price goes just enough into a take profit zone for you to make money scalping before it rejects. And obviously, in this scenario where you have a beautiful continuation, your profits can be even higher. So, jumping into the more useful part. Ultimately, how do you trade support and resistance using gold? There's many different ways to define what a support and resistance level is. However, one way that I would suggest is to use pivot points. A pivot point can be defined as a local minima or a local maxima. So in this case here, this is an example of a local high surrounded by candles shorter than it. In this case, I'm defining it as 10 candles lower to the left and to the right. So this number would only become valid once 10 candles have closed following it. So it would take a while to actually count this and make it a valid level. How I typically, and how at Prosperity Algo Solutions, how we like to trade this strategy using EAs is to place pending orders at this level using a scalping style take profit or trailing stop and a larger stop loss. And how that would work is when price were to come back to this level, you would be able to take profit. Here I wanted to show two examples, one of which of the rejection, showing that yes, here there was a rejection at that level. However, had you bought, there still would have been enough room to take profit. Alternatively here, it would be a beautiful breakout of the level where you have a significantly greater take profit. So I won't go too much into detail, but this is effectively how one would trade support and resistance on gold. Identify key levels using pivot points, place pending orders at those levels, and use scalping style stop losses in order to make money. You can do this either in a discretionary or in a purely algorithmic way. I wanted to also share our golden sniper system, which does this with obviously quite a few more sophisticated nuances. It trades across multiple different time frames using very dynamic take profit, stop losses, as well as very advanced filters. However, just wanted to show it in action. Here I chose to run a back test, just started it so we don't have to wait, from essentially the past year. This works on every tick based on real ticks, and I'm running it here on the M15. However, it's pretty irrelevant as it runs on several time frames all simultaneously. Let's quickly run this visual backtest just so you can see how it works. Essentially, as you can see, the strategy which I described is taking place. It's identifying key support and resistance levels using areas of pivot points and making money accordingly. Let me quickly minimize this window so we can see the graph progress. As you can see, it's a very profitable system. In this case, we had started the year with a $10,000 USD deposit. We are risking 2% per trade, and when this finishes, I will be able to tell you the results of the backtest. Let's take a 30-second pause while this finishes, and I will be back very shortly. Okay, so we are back with the results of our backtest. And here, as you can see, we have a pretty beautiful equity curve in front of us. We turned $10,000 into around $25,000 in the span of a year, while risking 2% per trade. Going through the backtest results, you can see here that we have 100% history quality, while using every ticks based on real ticks from the 8-cap broker. Our win rate was around 85%, which makes sense given this is a scalping system where the profit trade is going to be quite a bit lower than the loss trade. However, the high win rate definitely does make up for this. At the same time, you can see that we have excellent expected payoffs and expected Sharpe ratios. Anecdotally, here at Prosperity Algo Solutions, we have also traded this system live since April of 2024, now being September of 2024, almost October, and we have had excellent results with over $10,000 of our own money trading in this particular system. As a next step, I would really invite you to try this system. We offer a 7-day free trial on all of our expert advisors here at Prosperity Algo. So you can actually download the Golden Sniper here, get an installation guide and a 7-day free trial to not only backtest it, but also forward test it for a week, just to see if it matches your personal preferences. One of the things which I love about this system is that it's very simple in nature, and because of that, it's far less prone to overfitting. I have run backtests with this system since 2020, and it has proven to be resilient, strong, and consistently very profitable. So I would invite you to please go, get a free trial, and let me know in the comments if it works for you, what your thoughts are, and always happy to chat about suggestions and trading in general. Take care.